So then those
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
so we need to all or just one? Just one.
whoever's
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, that's fine.
no. Be careful of getting so far.
I was very sad. Hey, don't get it on my jacket either. I see it.
I know.
No, you were coming, otherwise I would have rushed you.
And we try to do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Good evening and welcome to the Half Moon Bay City Council meeting for Tuesday, April 15th. And if I may, I'd like to start the meeting out with a moment of silence before we move on to our next items. We've lost three individuals here this last few days, and so one of them would be for Dale Dunham, who was the husband of former Mayor Bonnie McClung Dunham. The other one was the father of our immediate past city manager, Laura Schneidman, left to be with her family, and her dad passed away the last day or so. And Alan Palmer, father of Cameron and Kevin Palmer, husband of Adora, who was very involved in the community. And then Frank Voss was a classmate of mine, and so just a quick moment, and then we'll continue on with business, please. Thank you in their memory. So at this time, we will have roll call vote, please.
What am I voting on?
Roll call.
Oh, here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here, thank you, and may we please have the Pledge of Allegiance? So at this time, we do have some proclamations and presentations to make. And the first one will be very special for our Half Moon Bay Cougars. And it looks like there are a few of them here in the room with their families. And they've all worked so hard, and they should be home doing their homework, but they're coming out tonight to receive a little award. And I know the 3 Cougars up here, we always did our homework on Tuesday nights. Anyhow, it's a great honor for us to recognize all your hard work and energy, and to bring home an award and recognition for all of yourselves this evening. So at this time, I would like to present them all and their coach with a plaque for their winning. And Jeff will do it up. Yes. We'll keep the bees over on this side for now. We got stung enough already. We don't need to get stung anymore. Thank you. So Jeff, coach, and your assistant coach, and your players, this is a certificate of achievement in recognition for outstanding achievement. The City of Half Moon Bay does hereby congratulate and commend the Half Moon Bay High School boys soccer team 2014 Central Coast Section champions. So congratulations to all of you. Welcome to say a few words.
I would like to thank the City Council for acknowledging this for us. This is my assistant coach, Jim Vega. This is Thomas Simons. This is David Villafuerte. It's hard to say his name. Christian Castaneda and Carlos Hernandez. A lot of my guys are at tournaments right now, playing in Dallas Cup and Kupferman State Cup, so they all couldn't be here, but I appreciate everything you guys done for us. So thank you very much.
Go Cougars. And the next one I had was for our American Legion's anniversary, and I don't know if anyone is representing them here at the moment. Charlie was supposed to be here, so we will. It's the Coastside American Legion's post 80th anniversary. Excuse me, and they do some fine work for all the veterans out there in Princeton. And so we'll make sure we get it. And I know he's been hounding me for some giant pumpkin seeds, so I'll include those in there with him. I didn't give him the $200 ones. So at this time, mayor's announcements and community service activities. So I guess the announcements, there was a couple here, for upcoming events. The biggest one, and the Vice Mayor could help me along with it, will be this Sunday, April 20th. We're having a triathlon on the coast, if anyone has not been aware of that yet, but it's a swim, bike, and run event that was normally held on the South Bay and San Jose area, put on by a coordinator down there that does a great job putting things together, and I know he's worked closely with our Sheriff Lieutenant Muncie and the Highway Patrol and all the staff involved in all the proper permits. And so it's going to be a lot of people here with the Easter Bunny on Sunday morning. So, but it'll be early, and I think they're going to get in the water, out of the water, and hopefully spend some time on our wonderful coastside and city, and then be heading back home. So that's coming up this Sunday. And Friday, April 25th, we will be having the Council of Cities meeting here at Sam's Chowder House, where all of our fellow council members come to the coast for a dinner and for an educational program regarding, Vice Mayor, what is our program? You're part of that there. Would you mind making a quick comment on that?
In the past few years, as you know, there's been, some of the prisoners have been let out and they've been absorbed into the county. And so we're having an update by the chiefs of the county to let us know how that is going and what we in the community can do or help to make their transition back into society beneficial for all.
Thank you. And then the other one, which is coming up here May 3rd, Saturday, it's happening very quickly, is the first Half Moon Bay Farmers Market will be opening next door here. So we're getting very excited about that and looking forward to seeing everyone there and getting all those young folks eating properly out there, which I'm sure they do. And got some more work coming here. And then it's a little early, but our May 15th youth seminar is very, very important to all of us here on the whole coast side. So we want to make sure that we get as many participants as possible. This is put on by the different leagues in the area here in the county and the Sheriff's Department, and so we're really looking forward to a large turnout. And it's really an educational morning, and we want to get all those people that really need to get a little extra education on the future of youth in our area. So, and then a fellow council member here reminded me of the big Easter egg hunt Saturday morning. Would you like to?
It's going to be held at Cunha School rather than at the high school. So any of you that would have little siblings, make sure that you go. But I would urge you to be there at exactly 11 o'clock. By 11:05, all the candy's gone. I've never seen candy disappear off of a field so quickly. But it's a great thing. It's put on by Boys and Girls Club and Rotary Club.
Thank you. So I think that's all I have for upcoming events here, and so we'll move on to report out of closed session. Our city attorney, Mr. Condati.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Mueller, members of the City Council. There were two matters in this evening's closed session, which began at 6 p.m. First involved real property negotiations, and that concerned the property at 2450 South Cabrillo Highway. Council received a report from its negotiator on that matter, and there was no reportable action. The second involved two items of potential litigation involving significant exposure to litigation. The council received a report from City Attorney's Office, and there was no reportable action on those items as well, and that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. City Council reports, former Mayor Councilmember Alifano.
Thank you. Probably the highlight of the last couple of weeks was Farm Day. I almost didn't get my wife in because the tickets were sold out. And it's just a great event every year. And I know everybody that goes there says the same thing. And it's really nice to see all the people getting their awards for all the hard work. And I think the funniest award was when Jack McHugh thought his wife was getting the award. It turned out it was actually for Jack. So I don't think he'll ever trust his wife to tell him anything in the future. And then in the morning on the 15th, we had a meeting over in the DOC with the Coastside Collaborative. And this is a group of there was probably 25, 35 people. And it's the Boys and Girls Club, it's Coastside Hope, it's every organization you can think of, SAL, the Sheriff's Athletic League, our people from that runs the organization here, the YMCA people with the new summer camp, and they talk about all the things that are happening for kids on the coast mainly, and it's amazing. I think the sad part is the families on the coast don't know enough about this, and the one thing I'd like to see if the city can do is maybe we can help put together a website where all of these organizations can put their activities there, and the people in town can find out what's going on for their kids, because as we know, kids that are busy don't get in trouble. And then the last thing was the Progress Seminar this last weekend, and I find that really helpful seminar. It's mostly elected officials with some people from private industry and so forth, but the ideas you hear about, probably the big one was right here in San Mateo is Supervisor Groom is putting together something called a big lift, and the highlight was they said that kids learn to read by 3, and after third grade, and after the 3rd grade, they learn through reading. And it was amazing how many of our children in the county can't read at a 3rd grade level in 3rd grade. So this program is going to be working or spending money to try and get our 3rd graders up to the right level, because the success rate for these kids is way higher when they're at the right reading level. So it was a very interesting seminar and worthwhile.
Thank you. Councilman Kowalczyk.
Thank you. Just a couple things to report on. So I also participated in the Progress Seminar, which was held in Monterey. It's a gathering of all the San Mateo County elected officials and people involved in organizations in the community. And through that seminar workshop, also saw a lot of our friends, Assemblyman Gordon and Senator, I'm blanking. Jerry Hill, sorry. So, the reason I bring it up is one of the most interesting sessions I attended was a discussion, a forum held by Senator Hill and Assemblyman Gordon, where they discussed the state of things in Sacramento, and where Senator Hill shared that whereas he was once one of 40 state senators, now he's one of 37. And talked in a very frank way about the situation with Li Lin, and it was very interesting because he didn't pull any punches. There wasn't a lot of, well, we'll see what's going to happen. It was more so, we're really going to put ourselves out there and make sure that these things don't happen again and be really transparent. And I appreciated a frank discussion on it, and I wanted to share that with the community as well, that there was no hedging in that. There was obvious recognition of there being a problem, and just how unacceptable that was and is, and that they're going to work through making sure there is enough transparency in place going forward. The big lift conference on education was something I also participated in, as well as a lengthy discussion on water and the fact that we don't have enough, which is just mind-boggling to me. But I believe our reductions in Northern California are going to be in the order of 10%, and some other communities are in the order of 30% over the next year, and I think we'll expect to see more on that. And then the other thing I was most involved in since our last meeting was the series of library stakeholder meetings. It was pretty refreshing to have a group of interested people come together and talk about their vision for the new library. The most recent session, we had a session with stakeholders at the DOC and a session with the public at the library, covering everything from what we want the interior space to look like, what we want the exterior space to look like, and how we can build upon previous work that was done to rebuild a library for Half Moon Bay. I'm super excited about this, and particularly excited about talking about how we're going to finance it and have some good, well, actually not so excited about that, but looking forward to getting this done for our community because we're long overdue. And then with that, just let the community know there are some library meetings coming up. It's not until May. We had, I guess, the first 3 of 16 public input sessions regarding the library. The next sessions are going to, there's a community kiosk at the May 3rd Farmers Market, an open house at the library on May 8th, Thursday, May 8th, and another community meeting at the library the same evening, May 8th. So open house during the day and another community planning session in the evening. And those are the big things I worked on in the last couple of weeks.
Thank you. Councilmember Patridge.
I attended the Transportation Authority meeting, and sadly reporting that Art Lloyd, who has served San Mateo County for 45 years in transportation, has resigned from all his posts. He is in failing health. So He will sorely be missed because he has so much history, especially with Caltrain and all that. Just wanted to announce too that on April 23rd, it's Rider Appreciation Day with Samtrans and Caltrans. We did approve our allocations for Measure A. We approved an additional $138,000 for another project that was right on the border. I initially voted no to give more money out of the fund because I was going to take it out of next year's allocation. However, Mike Scanlon, who's the executive director, indicated that that money would come out of the Lehman Brothers settlement that the county received. And I'm really proud to say San Mateo County was one of the few counties that did go after them to get funds, their money back, and they were successful in getting some back. Also, wanted to report that we did have quite a discussion on the shuttle program, and I continually ask about getting more shuttles here, but we have to have somebody that's in the lead to take over the shuttles in order for us to qualify. And so I'm not sure, I'm going to talk with Chuck Harvey because I'm not sure how we're going to do that. We don't have any kind of agency that can do that for us unless it's senior co-siders or somebody, you know. So then I also attended Farm Day. As Alan said, it was packed. It was sold out. It was really nice. Also went to the IDS Crab Shapino fundraiser. They're trying to raise funds to pay for their new roof on their building. I did attend the library kiosk at New Leaf. It's very exciting to see how many youth organizations were there. I think there was like 20-something people that provide services for youth in different organizations. So it was quite a turnout at New Leaf. There was no parking, you know, and it was really packed there. So those are things that I did.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Well, to give you a little more details on what's coming up this Sunday as well as Easter, the 22nd Annual Silicon Valley International Triathlon. And as the mayor had mentioned, this has been held in Morgan Hill for the last 20-odd years, and part of the triathlon is the swim portion, and they're unable to do that in the reservoir due to the drought. So that decision was made to shift in late February, and really, this happened very quickly coming over here. A lot of people cooperated very well, definitely.
Beekeeping brings people together of all ages and all cultures. I mean, it really crosses the bridges. It helps family and children learn together about nature and what needs to be for the survival of animals, insects, and the food production that's required to feed this world of today. When I was about 12 years old, I was blessed and found a mentor that was about 80 years old that was fantastic. He taught me a lot about honeybees and life, and partially what made me what I am today. I guess what concerns me most is that what we found in most cities is that there isn't a lot of complaints about honeybees. There always can be problems. I mean, they are honeybees, they do swarm, there's always differences between people. But most of the time, those problems can be solved with just talking about it and with educated beekeepers. And I think that's the most important thing, is beekeepers have to be educated. You know, they need water. You don't want them at your neighbor's swimming pool. But we need to make sure, as an organization, that we help those people make sure that we don't cause problems for neighbors. I mean, none of us deserve to have a problem. So that's part of what I think the San Mateo Bee Guild is all about, is education. And that's an important part of anything in this world, is education. So I just really appreciate that this city took another look at this and was willing to say, hey, maybe we need to get a different viewpoint on what's going on. So you've always solved my problems before. I appreciate it, and let's keep that going forward, and the great Half Moon Bay that it's been, and I'm sure we'll find solutions. Thank you all.
Thank you. He mentioned education. Gary gave my grandchildren an education this past January, and I don't know if we're supposed to share that with all your expert friends around you.
No, that's okay.
I was hooking up a piece of equipment, and it had a big swarm on them, And who do I call? Thank goodness I have his number. I call Gary. And Delfina Lorenzo are there, and they're up there, and we're all standing back, and Gary said, come here, and he gets my grandson's hand, who's 5 years old, and sticks it in the swarm. And I tell you what, I've been a farmer for 68 years, or thought I was going to be a farmer for 68 years. I've never ever seen that in my life. That was just remarkable. Pulled it out, boy, all smiles. I have pictures on the phone for the family, for history. Delfina, same thing. Delfina pulled out. I think she had a little bit of fingernail polish. She's 8, and she got a little bit of a sting on there, but she didn't cry too much. But it was just a great learning experience, and a great. I use that incident often, telling people how wonderful all of you are, and how we can learn something every day from somebody. So who would have ever thought? So thank you all, and I know you're all here in attendance, and you're more than welcome to sit through our wonderful meeting, but I know you'll have more bees to keep. So thank you again, and we will work together, and we will move on with our agenda. So you're more than welcome to leave. Thank you. So at this time, we will move on to the consent calendar.
I would move for approval of the consent calendar, items 1 through, I think it's 8.
With pulling.
With pulling number 4.
I'll second.
So we have a consent calendar motion and second that items on the consent calendar will, except for number 4, will be approved if so voted on, and number 4 will be pulled to a later date. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, so ordered. Okay, moving on here. What item of my agenda here? Yeah, I'm sorry. We're going on to item 9. Let me just get caught up here a little bit. And yes, street maintenance. Adopt a resolution establishing street maintenance criteria. Staff presentation, please. Dante?
Before we do that, do we want to do item number 8, introduction of an ordinance, or do we want to do that after?
No, I apologize here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so we will, at this time, open a public hearing and staff presentation on item 8. Is that correct, team?
Yes. I'll make this very brief. The item before you is an introduction of an ordinance to amend Chapter 1806, which pertains to the R1, R2, and R3 zoning classifications, to delete paragraph 5 from subsection D of section 1806.025. What that section does is it establishes the ability to authorize convalescent care facilities and general daycare facilities in the R2 and R3 zoning districts in the city of Half Moon Bay with a use permit. However, that subsection, paragraph 5, establishes a 2-year permit limit on the convalescent care facilities. So in Half Moon Bay,